I'm explaining to you. The classic man is a danger to you. And me too. Tatted on my forehead. Go home. Go to bed. I dress. Something we get this way come. When the family unit is overrun. When the structure is undone. Some new concoction. Now I walk softly and carry a big stick. Original gorilla in the midst.
Welcome back to the Franchise Podcast. I'm Joe. This is TQ.
Yeah. We back.
And we just watched the devil walk right by us because it's so damn hot in Vegas.
Oh, man. He's a ugly fella. Trust me.
Look, he's holding hands with the sun.
Man, listen. I swear, I think it's getting hotter.
It is.
I think it's getting hotter every damn summer. And like we had this time this year where there was a couple of weeks there when it would normally be hot.
It was like
and it was
75,
nice,
80,
it was breezy, convertible weather. Then all of a sudden, Satan showed up out of nowhere. Boy,
that was a soccer player, huh? Oh no, it was an NHL player. He played with the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah. We got a big show this week. We're going to talk about the Lakers, NBA Summer League. We're going to talk about a little Manchester United and Premier League soccer, but we're going to get everything kicked off right here with football in the States. And
yes, sir.
A big deal happened over the last couple of weeks. And that was USC and UCLA saying, hey, look, we're dipping out of the Pac-12 conference where they've been around forever and decided to go to the Big Ten. Now, this is a big deal because it makes the Big Ten a super conference. USC and UCLA was making 40% of the revenue for the Pac-12 conference. They're losing, the Pac-12 is losing 40% of their revenue just off the LA market.
Wow.
But on top of that, there's a revenue split of $30 million from all 12 teams in the conference, right?
Got it. In the Pac-12.
In the Pac-12.
Right.
In the Big Ten, USC and UCLA is scheduled to make $70 million more a year. And a little known fact, UCLA was on the verge of cutting all athletic programs because they were that far in the red.
Get out of here. What do you mean cutting all athletic programs?
All athletic programs within the next 2 years, if they didn't do this deal, there was no money to pay any coaches.
Are you serious?
It was in the athletic. Or no, excuse me, the LA Times.
Wow.
Man, so
this deal had to happen, basically.
Well, I mean, look, if you're USC, I'm pissed off. The Pac-12 did not at any point help them with Reggie Bush's issues.
No.
They did not go to bat for them with the NCAA when they were appealing those issues.
Absolutely not.
And then, UCLA is USC, so we're not going to do this without them. We need them. We want them to come along with us. Money-wise, USC wants to build a football-only facility.
They should.
On campus, not share the McKay Center.
As they should.
They can. I mean, they could get donors' money, but, I mean.
Man, come on, man.
And you got to give credit where credit is due. Mike Bone and Brandon Sosna, and Brandon Sosna is no longer with USC. He took a job with the Detroit Lions. He was critical for this whole thing and the Lincoln Riley hire. For both of those things to happen, Brandon Sosna was a key figure. Man, this right here is making college football. In some ways, it makes it better, and in some ways, it takes away all the tradition and the regional rivalries out, and it kind of sucks, to be honest with you.
I mean, I think anything can be worked out, first and foremost. I think this is very early on, and I don't think that we've seen the end of this shift in what's going to happen with the new version of college football. I get the rivalries, man, but I just believe that the fans are going to get what they want at the end of the day. They got to make this fan friendly, right? And that's what this is all about. That money wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the viewership and the actions of the people who love to watch this sport.
Okay, you bring up people wanting to watch the sport, but what about the people that hey, honey, it's Friday. USC's playing Arizona down in Tucson. Let's just get in the car and go because we can get tickets because the Wildcats suck and there's always tickets available. Now it's like, oh, they're playing Purdue. We got to plan this out in advance because we got to get the flight. We got to get the hotel. Yeah. The expenses for the cross-country travel for USC and UCLA and their fan bases is gonna be extraordinarily high. And again, I'm okay with two super conferences, like what we see with the SEC and now the Big Ten. But what does that mean for the Pac-12? What does that mean for the Big 12, the ACC? What about our UNLV running Rebels? Or UNLV Rebels if it's just for the football program?
Well, first of all, before I get to that, I'm going to throw this out there. If Pac-12 and the Big 12 aren't sitting at a table right now figuring out how to merge what they have together, right now, they're crazy. If you look at the teams that are left in those two conferences, how many of them were ranked last year? Got a lot of ranked teams.
A lot, especially in the Big 12.
Between the Big 12 and the Pac-12, yeah, especially in the Big 12. But it's a lot of ranked teams there that had some pretty good college football seasons last year. And it's a lot of people.
True.
That are still left in, right, and that are still left in those two conferences. So that I would be most excited about if I was those two conferences. That's what I would be doing. When it comes down to UNLV, I mean, this should put the Rebels close to the top dog on the West when it really comes down to facilities, what the city has to offer.
Check.
They got Nike in the building.
Check.
This place is growing like gangbusters when it comes down to sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like any one of these conferences should want UNLV involved.
Well,
Pac-12 and Big 12.
Here's the deal. I don't think there's going to be any type of realignment going further until Notre Dame makes a decision on what they're going to do if they're going to join the Big Ten. If they join the Big Ten, I would suspect Stanford, Washington, and Oregon exodus to make that just a mega conference. Because why wouldn't you want Phil Knight's money? Washington's always good.
Come on, man.
Stanford already has rivalries with a lot of people in the Big Ten.
Yes.
And Notre Dame makes the most sense for the Big Ten. You got USC, Michigan, Michigan State.
All of their natural rivals
Penn
are right
State.
there.
People forget about the Penn State rivalry.
Right.
The two Indiana schools, Indiana, Purdue, and then Stanford would be the other. That's 7 rivalries. You're playing a rivalry team out of more than half of your season.
Right.
And that's phenomenal. In terms of UNLV, you hit on you checked a lot of the boxes. Facility and stadium, Nike money, the city and the growth in the city, but they're also a tier 1 science institute, so a tier 1 educational institute.
There you go.
And they have the hospital being built, medical facility.
Big.
So those are all the things you need to go into the Power 5.
Close proximity to Los Angeles.
And Pac-12 already has their media days here, their basketball tournaments here.
Right.
Kleekloff wanted to have the Pac-12 offices here before they decided to shut them down in San Francisco. He actually was the president of sports and gaming for MGM before he took the Pac-12 commissioner job.
Big.
So I say all that. San Diego State just got a brand new stadium built that looks phenomenal. And that'd be the only Southern California team in the Pac-12. So it's a huge market share for them.
It is.
And the team I'm going to say that you're going to be like, what? Fresno State.
Yeah, I can see that.
Winning football.
I can see that.
College town. They can use that money to upgrade their facilities. It's the only thing in that podunk city.
Yeah, but they got a hell of a fan base in that.
Oh, yeah. The
city.
Valley is strong for, Bulldog bred, Bulldog strong, as they say, something like that. So, I mean, I think those 3 teams, UNLV, Fresno State, and San Diego State, and then potentially a 4th team, and that could be Boise State. Those 4 teams joining, and then you merge them with the Big 12.
Nice.
Or the ACC.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, the ACC, no one could get out. Well, technically, no one could get out their TV deal until 2036. So you figure you can have a coastal West Coast conference and an Atlantic conference.
You mean all 3 of them together?
No, just the 2 of them.
Oh, just the 2 of them.
Just the 2 of them.
Got you.
I mean, would you rather go to the Big 12, where you got Baylor, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech?
Texas is such a big place with so many people, and they're so football crazy.
Or you can go to the ACC, where you got Miami, Florida State, Clemson.
Only thing's been up over there in the last however long has been Clemson. Like, it's a basketball conference. You know what I mean? So if you're throwing the basketball into it, then yeah, it makes sense. But as far as football goes, man, come on, you merge with Texas, man.
Yeah, I would do Big 12. I'm just
day.
Just so you got the West and the Southwest, the South versus the West. I mean,
yeah, man. And again, do a tally of the teams that are left in those conferences and how they did this previous football year.
Well, I got told in 2020 by a coach who's still coaching now, so I can't say who it is, that by 2025 there's going to be 2 mega conferences in basically leaving and defecting from the NCAA to run their own thing. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. And then what's left?
The way I see it, I feel like basketball has shown us how to conclude the college football season.
Yeah.
Period. Like the blueprint is there. Like there is nothing more exciting than March Madness.
Single elimination football tournament.
Period, man. Period. Like literally, like I'd jam it all together myself. I put the college football championship the Saturday before the Super Bowl. Just football weekend. Let's make it happen.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
I would love it, man.
But
Just send the season on into the beginning of February, just like the NFL goes. Add some games in there for a real single elimination playoff. And let's get down.
The bowl games though don't have those count. Those have to be just like the Rose Bowl, still the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after that, then you get into the tournament. Those could be like, I won't say playing games, but
call them whatever you want. You don't
Exactly.
lose the bowls because the bowls, they have their tradition and it's fun first and foremost. But we need playoffs, man. We need a real bona fide playoff, because what we don't get in college football is that parity of being of the underdog, like coming from the bottom and just outplaying the best team on any given Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in the playoffs because we never get a shot for it to happen. I believe that these super conferences, if you want to call them that, that'll be able to happen. It may not happen at the lower levels. You may not get, the Conference USA, MAC type schools. They may not have that.
say Mountain West.
Mountain West, same thing. But you absolutely want to see the blue bloods and the places where the best kids go to school competing for championships.
I have an idea, and I'm going to tell you what I want to see.
Stop.
I want to see these two I want to see blow up the NCAA when it comes to football. Just because they have no idea what they're doing with NIL. They got no idea what they're doing with the transfer portal. And they got no idea they got no idea what in the hell that we're living in called Las Vegas with these conferences right now. Okay. So
it's coming at them real fast right now.
Well, they open the barn doors with wild horses, stallions, and they can't bring them back in. That's failing the plan. So you plan to fail. That's what you did.
Basically.
Mark Emmert has been a jackass. He shouldn't have been the guy running it. And he's still a jackass. I'm glad he's getting out of there. So
tell him how you really feel there.
No. You don't want me to do that. But I will say this. What I want to see is it blown up, and you get these mega conferences. You get the, say, look, hypothetically, Big Ten and SEC. And you expand them to 25 teams each. 50 teams total. That's tier 1. You got tier 2, which would be like your G5s, everybody else. The bottom 5 from each of those conferences are relegated down, and the top 5 of the 5 best, the next one, are relegated up. Relegation in NCAA, that forces you to be competitive. That forces you. You don't got teams like Vanderbilt or even Stanford, Northwestern. They got no business in those. They're there because they bring up the academic prestige for the conference. They're not there to play football or to win games. They're not there like USC, Alabama, Clemson, Florida State, Miami. They're not there. You go there, Ohio State. You go there to play football. Bottom line, you get the education. You go there to play football. Let's be real.
I mean, I see your point. It's a bit extreme.
How is it extreme?
Basically, relegation for everybody who doesn't know. European football, soccer, uses the process of relegation where bottom number of teams from the top league go down if they don't score a certain amount of points in that previous season, and the top lower league team goes up. Well, overseas you have top tier like the Premier League, then you have like a championship, a league, like blah blah blah. It just goes down. Where ours is, pros, college, high school, they have separate leagues. So just imagine getting relegated. The Lakers after this season had to go down to the G League as opposed to being an NBA team. It's extreme. I don't see how that would work with the way money is made and paid.
But you don't do it year by year. You do it by like the last 2 years, 3 years, or even 4. You can even go 4 years because it gives you a whole recruiting cycle.
Literally sending people down after their performance over the 4 years.
Okay, yes. Okay, let's I'm gonna just say a random school. Penn State.
Yeah.
Okay. If Penn State were to go 2-16 and then go for 2 years and then 500 the rest of the way, but they're better than Northwestern, who combined has 6 wins in 4 years. But yet, let's say UNLV starts off slow, and then all of a sudden they're winning the Mountain West, and they're 22 wins or 25 wins in 3 years.
You send them up and send them down.
Send them the ones down. I mean, why not have the most competitive teams play against each other versus teams that are just there to collect a check?
Why not lay off the weed, Joe?
That's you. I don't smoke it.
It's never going to happen. We just sit here wasting time. Nobody's going to be relegated.
It needs to be.
It's not going to happen, man. Get ready for super conferences. I do believe if we're not close to the end of the NCAA, we've seen the end of them having as much power.
They hate it
as they've had. Yeah, for
sure. They hate where they're at. They hate student athletes. They hate athletes being able to call shots.
Yeah, they do.
And I love it.
Yeah, because they've exploited so many young men and women for so long that, I mean, it's just, they don't have a leg to stand on when it comes down to, it's just like an old, archaic way of doing things.
It was slavery.
On its way out. Yeah, basically.
Let's call it like it is.
Basically. So, I mean, you know, it's I think the majority of people involved with college sports, on the fan side, on the media side, on the school side, nobody likes the NCAA. Like what motto is that? What is that doing for, you know, the advancement of collegiate sports? Nothing at all.
Not a damn thing. Before we move on, congratulations to Andy Stankiewicz. Left GCU, Grand Canyon University, and became USC's new baseball coach.
Hey,
that's a big hire.
Fight on, big man.
Yes, sir. So we talked about relegation a little bit, and you brought up the Premier League in football.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Man U. Now, Man U, you know, your favorite team.
We have to?
We have to.
Jeez.
Look, if we don't, we got Man U fans that watch our show.
Yeah, we do.
And they won the other day 4-0.
They did.
You know, and they got a little cup for winning a preseason game.
Yeah.
That's like the Summer League giving away championship rings. What the hell is that? We'll get to that later. But okay, so they win a little cup.
Yeah.
You know, new coach comes in.
Yeah.
Ten Hag. That's what I say. I say his name right?
Yeah, you got it.
All right. And you know, it's the transfer period, in which is basically, as we talked about last year, it's the trade deadline. There's 2 of them a year.
Trades, right.
What the hell's Man U doing? They're about as active as the Lakers in free agency.
No, Lakers are much more active.
No, that's true. Lakers signed 4 guys. Ooh.
We just picked up Martinez today. We got this kid, Malaysia last week. It's time for a culture change, and anytime that happens to a team, you have to prepare yourself for some growing pains. Now, Manchester United fans will say, well, damn, we've been having growing pains ever since Sir Alex left.
And so needs an ownership change.
And I agree. And most of them would also agree with you. But if the world understood, you know, what the Glazers make off of this team, how they use this team, you'd have to make them the most unbelievable, most ridiculous offer possible for them to even think about getting out of this business, because it's a cash cow. And it's a cash cow that doesn't have to win to become a cash cow. Or at least it hasn't up until now. Now, I think there's some biting in the ass that's happening right now, a la Golden Knights, where resources have probably been grossly misused over the last couple of seasons.
Ronaldo wants to leave.
And I mean, but, you know, if you're talking about him, he's in a situation where he's in the twilight of his career. He's worth so much financially and worth so much to the team and fan base that he's at. I don't know who's going to take him on at this point. And then for him, you know, he's still a viable player and he's still a great player. He's my GOAT, and he still plays a big part in the squad. But he's got a coach that's coming in that's not necessarily about his style of play.
No, I get it.
It's all about that's going to be about compromising between those two, and then the coach finding players to surround him with to where they can kind of meet in the middle of what Ronaldo's preferred style of play is and what Ten Hag's preferred coaching is.
With Ronaldo, right? Like, they're not in the Champions League right now. So, like,
no.
So for him, it's a wasted year because he's trying to get the Champions League's all-time goal, career goals, correct?
That, but there's also a 20 to 25% shave that you get on your salary.
Oh,
if you don't make the Champions League.
Cristiano.
That's a problem.
Let me be your agent. I got you. Look it. First call we make is to Chelsea.
They ain't doing it.
Next one we call them PSG.
They ain't doing it.
Then we call Arsenal.
Not happening, man. It's not happening. He's gonna be stuck until somebody can make United an offer that works for them.
Man City?
They're not doing any business with Man City.
Sir Alex would have his head.
Not gonna have. He tried to go there first.
Tell the story behind it, because I don't think people know it. I know you know a little insight.
Man. From what I heard, he got a call at the 11th hour from the gaffer, the man they called Sir Alex. Like on some, what are you doing? Like, are you serious? Like what? Like you remember on what was that, Godfather? When they bought the old man from the old country just to sit him in they just set him in the courtroom, and the old boy just went totally different. He was supposed to snitch that day. Yeah. And when he saw his OG, it was his brother from back in the old country, he couldn't do it. Same thing. It's like Sir Alex glaring over them. Like, you doing what, boy? It's because one of them things, man. So I don't see that happening. I'm a Manchester United fan, so I was happy to see that 7 back. I want him to retire with us, but at the same time, it's a damn shame that this man is going to be competing in the Europa League this year, man, as opposed to the Champions League.
I never would have thought.
That is absolutely terrible. With the on paper squad, like there's just so much like the Lakers, man. It was so much like the Lakers last year. If you look at the squad on paper, it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be good. You got Edison Cavani, you got Paul Pogba, and you got Cristiano Ronaldo on the same team. Man, they didn't bust a grape, man. They didn't even get to the play-in tournament.
And don't forget the name that shall not be said for various reasons.
Yeah, he's done.
But
that guy.
My point is,
he's like Henry Ruggs himself right up off the team, man.
Oh,
just saying, bro.
Darren Sharpard.
Yeah, it's just geez. Ugh. Just geez. You know what? Let me just say something about this.
Yeah.
I don't want to pile on these guys when they make mistakes or whatever, but it's like, yo, you know the places we came from, man. Yeah. When you get the opportunity to make your dreams come true on the field, don't let nothing come before. Don't mess it up. Little bros, any of y'all watching this, man, when you get the opportunity, man, don't lose it. Don't fumble the bag, bros. Please. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to a good season this year from Manchester United. It's going to be ridiculed in my inbox as it has been for the last 5-6 years.
But what about De Jong, man? Is he going to come? What you think?
I don't know, man. I believe that the situation with Manchester United is a lot like the situation with Barcelona. It's such a huge fall from grace with those two teams. Like, they've gone from literally the most desirable spots that anybody would want to be at to the least desirable. So I don't know, man. I don't know how that deal is going to work, if it's going to work, but it makes sense to me that those two programs that are literally the blue bloods or red bloods of European football can't figure it out.
I never would have thought Man U would be relegated or drop down to Europa.
I mean, that's been the norm. I think they've played more seasons in the Europa League since Sir Alex has been gone than they played in the Champions League. And, it's just, it's kind of like United did a lot of winning my first 10, 15 years of watching ball. And I kind of felt like they was invincible, You know how it is when it's those lows, when the Lakers are just absolutely terrible for a couple of years after a championship. I never got a chance to see that lull in United. So I look up now and I'm looking at it. It's been 7-8 years, man. Like, it's been longer than that. It's been almost 10 years since they won anything of significance, and it's kind of like it's just hard to get used to. So my thing is, I gotta let just like with any new coach. Same thing with Darvin Ham. I want to see what he can do. Like we talked about, we did a lot of talking about Kyrie's trade and like the roster that we had. We didn't get a chance to see that roster full last year with the Lakers. A lot of Manchester United's problem has been not being able to have all the stars on the field at the same time for whatever reason, whether they fake an injury and they don't want to play or whether they really you know what I'm saying? Like it you have to be able to see the full product out there. I think that they just picked up a hell of a coach. I think that they finally have a disciplinarian who coaches effort and defense, and they haven't had that in a long time. This guy is not going to let you play just because you make X amount of dollars a week. You will sit your ass on the bench if you don't perform. And that's what this team needs more than anything else. So I'm excited about that part.
So they won the little trophy the other day, so they won the 4-0 in their first preseason game. So
let's get rid of these little trophies.
For real.
How about that?
Get rid of them.
Like the way y'all did Kelsey Plum the other day in the All-Star game.
Cold-blooded.
Come on, man.
Kelsey deserves better than that.
I got a coffee mug that's bigger than that. My beer cup is bigger than that. Like, let's stop it.
We should get a trophy and give it to Kelsey.
Yeah, exactly. Should we?
We should.
We can do better than the damn WNBA did.
Because that was cold.
Give us a break, man. Jeez.
Kelsey.
You put that up to the stand. I saw a meme. She was standing there next to Steph, and they were showing Steph's All-Star MVP. Looked like it looked like Tiffany made it or something, man.
And then there's Kelsey's.
I mean, hers looked like something my sister used to play with when it was time for tea back in the day. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like this big.
Oh, I liked how the Aces made fun of it. They had the little grape juice it back and they gave it to her. Like, I mean, it was the funniest thing.
It's ridiculous, man.
We're supposed to get into basketball. We're going to get into Summer League and Lakers right now. But before we do that off the cuff, the Aces are the funnest team to watch in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, man. That's a hell of an outing, man.
If you guys get a chance, go down to Michelob Ultra Arena at the Mandalay Bay. Tickets are very affordable, and watch them put on a show and lose yourself. I mean, it is a blast.
It's great. To be honest, man. We do all the sports out here.
Mm-hmm.
The Lights, going to see a Lights FC game is a great outing. I know it's hot. You know what I'm saying?
It's not in the great part of town.
It's not in the best part of town, but it is absolutely high intensity, highly entertaining. An Aviators game, man, that's the nicest semi-pro experience you can get anywhere.
Yeah.
So, we lucky to be in the position that we're in with the sports that we have going on in our fair city right now.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And our fair city for the 18th year in a row is hosting the NBA Summer League. Yeah. And Atina, we have a little bit of interest in small rooting and professional interest in the Lakers are in town.
They are.
And look, their offseason, I like the signings they've had so far. Okay. Lonnie Walker IV, I've always liked him with San Antonio. I'm just glad he cut his hair because that looked like it looked like Sideshow Bob took a crap on his head.
Leave the man alone, bro. Stop it.
And then bringing in Thomas Bryant, bringing him back, a stretch center that can do some things. But I really, really like the Troy Brown signing. Now, I like it for a couple very specific reasons. Went to Las Vegas Centennial High School. Yeah. When I was coaching up there. Mm-hmm. And he was friends with Peanut.
Sweet.
So to have a local guy, and who always wanted to play with the Lakers, that's his favorite team growing up.
That's all right.
Wanted to get in actually signing with the Lakers and play with his best friend, who is Lonnie Walker IV.
Love it.
So you got guys that want to be there, and then you got Russell Westbrook. Hey, man, look. I'm not going to pile on Russ because I don't want Russ and have his family flash on me like they did.
Yo, will you stop it, bro? Okay? Please.
So,
good.
But look,
this guy's messy.
I'm not messy. Look, I'm just saying, look.
Petty messy.
As much as I wanted Westbrook to be successful, it's like putting a square peg in a round hole. Kyrie Irving's out there. And at some point, and I watched Rob Pelinka, I've been watching him at the Summer League, the way he moves. I like how he moves. I like how he moves around and talks to people.
Rob ain't new to this.
He ain't. And, I think Rob's going to pull the trigger and make something happen. I don't know if it's Kyrie, but I think that maybe that's option 1A. I mean, but at this point, the Lakers got to do something because it's not fair to Russell Westbrook having this linger over his head. It's not fair to anybody else in the organization. I don't want to say it's not fair to Kyrie, but Kyrie's not saying anything. So, I mean, what is that telling you? What do you make of this mess, man?
I think it was easy before that dumbass Rudy Gobert trade. That's what I think threw everything out of whack.
Yeah, they did pay a price to get him.
Yeah, so a team that's got a Kyrie or a KD on it is like, man, both of our guys are better than him, and they got that for him. Like, come on. I think that was the real monkey wrench. But if I go back to the Lakers roster, man, I'm not here to pile on Russ. Number one, Russ is going to have to adjust his game wherever he goes because he's simply not the young whippersnapper that he was, regardless of how athletic he is, how explosive he is, regardless of any of that. With age comes some slippage. That's some slip. That could be slippage in reaction time. That could be slippage in, just it doesn't have to necessarily mean that you're not as fast as you used to be,
or you can't shoot, but you never could. Okay, go ahead.
Thing is, Russell Westbrook is not he's not trash, my man.
I know that.
You understand what I'm saying?
I know he's not trash.
The Russell Westbrook having the best season that he would have ever had in his career last year would have probably got the Lakers another 4 games, if that.
Okay.
We're in the West. All the stars are in the West. LeBron is aging. AD has not been in shape consistently for a long time. So Russ completely just going Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant wouldn't have done much for the Lakers last year. All right. What happens with a healthy LeBron, a healthy, in shape AD, and a coach now that has some culture that the locker room can respect? What happens then? I haven't seen that. And everybody who's piling on Russ are piling on him based on a version of that without a lot of factors.
Okay, wait. No.
Yes.
Because he's been that same way with Scott Brooks in Oklahoma City. He was that same way in Houston. He was that same way in D.C., and he was the same way last year.
Did he have Bron and AD on them teams?
No, but he had Paul George, Kevin Durant, James Harden,
Did he
Dwight
have
Howard,
2 of them on those
Bradley
teams?
Beal.
No.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Howard and
Russell Westbrook has never been in a situation where he was the third option. You hear how John Wall's talking about his position right now at the Clippers? That's the version of Russell Westbrook that we need.
Do you know why John Wall's talking like that? Because he didn't play last year. Nobody wanted to pay him, and nobody wanted him.
That, but still, I'm not talking. I just said John Wall because of what he's saying. He needs to be what he's saying that he's going to be for the Clippers is what Russ needs to be for the Lakers. That's what Russ was brought to the Lakers to do. Now, we know Russ is stubborn. We know Russ does things his way. Fine, that's fine. When you signed up to come to the Lakers, you signed up to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. When Anthony Davis and LeBron James are not playing, why do you have to play that role? You ain't going nowhere, no way. Let me just go out here and be Russ. I don't need to play defense. I don't need to roll.
He did average
roll
25,
with who?
8 and 8 when LeBron wasn't in.
Come on, man. Come on. So what I'm saying is, what happens when there's any amount of consistency with those 3 players on the floor together? We don't know. With adding in a Darvin Ham. And when I say Darvin Ham, that's not Scott Brooks. That's not
D'Antoni.
That's not him. Give me another one.
Bust the dude that took over for Scott Brooks. Billy
Donovan.
Billy
That
Donovan,
ain't
yeah.
him. This is Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, y'all can go out and hang out together.
Hey, but Scotty Brooks, one coach of the year.
Fine. It's personalities.
Mike Antoni, because he plays no D and he gets no D.
I mean, hey, I
I
get
don't
it.
like him, but like, hey, and then you look at
What is your
yeah,
conversation with Scotty Brooks as Russell Westbrook? What is your conversation with Billy Donovan? What is your conversation with these guys as opposed to what can you and Darvin Ham talk about?
well,
Y'all can talk about a whole lot more than you can with the other cats.
well, you know what he could talk to Frank Vogel about, and Vogel could have put him up on a little bit of game, how to win a championship,
Good point.
and he didn't do it, and he fought him the whole way through.
He's out there playing by himself for nothing.
The whole season.
Yeah, the whole season. Nobody played. Where was AD? He wasn't there. LeBron wasn't there. Why am I listening to all of this? We're going nowhere. We are not going anywhere. Our two stars are hurt. Okay, so give me the Lakers with no Kareem and no Magic. Give me the Lakers with no Shaq, no Kobe. Give me the Lakers with no Kobe, no Powell.
There was no third.
That's my point.
Well,
now
no,
we
take
got
it
a
back.
third.
No,
If there was a third,
Magic and Kareem had Worthy.
okay, could Worthy do it by himself? Absolutely not.
Worthy's better than Harden or than Westbrook.
Okay, but he couldn't do it by himself. MJ couldn't do it by himself. Kobe couldn't do it by himself. Nobody can do it by themselves. Russell Westbrook did not come to LA to play by himself. He came to play with Bron and AD. And we haven't seen that happen yet.
Look,
So I'm not going to pile on the man until I see that happen.
I think Russ needs
And
to
maybe we won't.
I think Russ needs to change the scenery, and I'm saying this being serious.
Man been changing scenery for the last decade, man.
No,
Come on,
four
man.
Seasons, 4 teams, 4 seasons.
Come on, man.
but
You
no,
can't- come on, bro.
I say that because
Change the scenery from Bron and AD
Yeah,
in his hometown?
yeah.
Change the scenery to where? Where is he going to go? Where? Where
You
does
know
his
what-
scenery need to change to?
Okay,
we
we
need
got-
to switch to another sport and play tennis?
I think there's 2 trades that could happen, and
I'm speaking about for Russ. What should
I'm
Russ
talking
wanna
about
do?
for Russ. I'm talking about for Russ.
Something that he would be.
It doesn't matter what he wants because he's under contract. So wherever they send him, they send him.
I understand that. That's not what I'm asking.
Okay.
What I'm asking, you said Russ needs a change of scenery.
Yes,
That's a need for Russell. What does Russell need to change his scenery to?
an organization that already has shooters that allows him to get up and down the court and play his brand of basketball.
So you need to go to the Warriors.
That actually would be a good fit for him. But I mean, hey, that would not happen. You know, I was thinking, and it wouldn't happen about Miami. The culture, Pat Riley gonna put him in his place. He did it. He did it to everybody. And if you can't play for Pat, then good luck.
I just don't believe Russ has to be put in this place. Really, I think he's been getting some bad raps in the last couple of years. He's been pairing him up with people who don't play basketball.
What about Atlanta? Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. I mean, you put him there. I mean, you get up and down the court. You got shooters. You got Collins that can space the floor. I'm just saying, the reality is, Rob Pelinka is either going to pull the trigger on a deal for Kyrie Irving that will send another player with Russ to Brooklyn with either 1 or 2 picks, or he's going to turn his attention to Indiana and pull the trigger on a deal to bring over Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, and then a separate deal bring over your favorite player.
My favorite player.
Your favorite player. He played when he was with the Clippers. Oh, you
No,
love
he's
him.
not my favorite. Then
You love Pat. You love Pat Bev, man.
I hope Rob is somewhere trying to get my favorite player right now out of Brooklyn. That's what I hope is happening.
KD.
He can't get Ja, so he need to be trying to get Kyrie. Listen, man. Listen. Pat Bev gets on my nerves. All right, and I think he gets on everybody's nerves who's not on his team.
Mm-hmm.
So if the effect of Pat Bev is you love him when he's on your team, then bring him. If he's going to continue to get on my nerves, Or maybe he gets on my nerves because of the teams that he plays for.
Remember Matt Barnes when he was with the
Always
Kings and the Warriors?
Yeah, but I always liked Matt Barnes though.
Matt was always cool.
Yeah, Matt was never
a dick.
Yeah, he didn't talk too much. It was mostly, you could just see his actions. He talked to somebody. He wasn't talking to the camera.
Matt was a real tough guy, or is a real tough guy. Let's be real.
Yeah, when you see Matt jaw-jacking, he was in game jaw-jacking to somebody, and you didn't know what he was saying. You know what I'm saying?
And he wasn't crying after he beat one of his former teams.
Pat is jaw-jacking before the game, after the game, on first take. It was just he's just
he was
jaw-jacking.
Out of pocket for that though.
What?
When he went out first take, he was out of pocket.
Why you think that?
Man, look, there's certain things that you broke the code. He broke the code.
Why you feel that?
Because that's like me. Okay, I know stories about your heyday when when back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And let's say how would you feel if we did a show and I said, tell them about the time? You're going to be like, damn.
Nah, I hit this button right here. Some music will come up. We'll fade to black real quick. Come on, man. How long Pat been in the league?
I don't know, 10.
I mean, come on, man. It's an audition for his post-basketball career, man. You cut him some slack.
I ain't cutting him nothing. So, and the one, before we get about it, let's talk about summer leagues here. And we kind of briefly, I've been down there a few times.
Yeah.
Work related, meeting people, doing what we do. That right there.
I'm wondering why he's throwing in work related. Like,
it was.
What other relation would it be? Go ahead. Let you finish this.
Look, that was
Get yourself in trouble, boy.
Thought Central.
Yeah.
It's Thought Central, and they walk around the con horse because that's all they're doing right now.
Come on, man. What you think, man? What you think? They ain't got to wear their mask.
Man, they
wide open right now.
Wide, and it's not, and this the city ain't the only thing that's wide open these 10 days.
Look, we need to put a public service announcement out there to every single player in town. All you rookies, all you young guys, man.
Even some of you old ones.
Please, don't fall in the trap that is the Thomas and Matt. Homeboy. Go to Cox Pavilion and let it stay Cox Pavilion. You understand?
Let the name Cox Pavilion just be the only Cox that leaves that pavilion, okay? Like it stays inside there.
Yo, man, it's rough out here, man. We done seen a great many a boy mess himself up this week right here. So I'm telling you, man, listen, they got flyers, they sending kites, they got telegrams. Yo, it's been all kinds of stuff. Inglewood, Compton, Carson. Oh, man, bro.
Man, look, my brother was in town last week.
Yeah.
We went over to a property pool party. Mm-hmm. And one of them's talking to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them like, you dumb ass. So I walk over, right? And I'm looking out for him.
But he don't know what he's into?
Bro, he's so drunk. He doesn't remember this.
Oh, he's about to be a jerk.
So I walked over. I said, she working. He goes, no, she not. I said, where you from? She said, Cleveland. I said, when'd you land? She was like, 2 days ago. I said, first day of summer league? She goes, yeah. I said, come on, let's go. I didn't even ask how long she was here. I already knew. I'm like, you gotta go. You gotta go.
What'd he say?
Why you do that? He got hot.
Oh,
he wanted to fight me. I'm like, no, bro. Like, no, we gotta go. It's time to leave.
Man, you gotta look at it like the zoo, man. It's not the petting zoo. You know what I'm saying? Just look, don't touch.
Because it costs to touch.
Man. You put that hand out there and draw back a nub, boy.
They look
lions
like
and tigers. There's lions and tigers and bears in that concourse, man. Y'all better be careful. For real.
Oh, man. On that note, we out of here. It's the
You boys
Franchise
gonna
Show.
learn. You gonna learn. You gonna be like, Uncle TQ tried to tell me and it didn't work, man.
Oh, man. TQ, I'm Joe Arrigo. It's the Franchise Show. Check us out on franchisesportsmedia.com. It's much love to our sponsor, the Liquids Club.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check out our other show we got coming out. That's out every week. The main event. It gets all your combat sport information with Kalani and Griff.
For sure. Hey, check out our Summer League coverage on the Summer League page at franchisesportsmedia.com/NBA Summer League. Holla at your boys.
Straight to the hood. shit run through. Run the whole play, they know the new